Well, hey gamers, welcome to the Blue Gamer Bluecast Morning Show. I'm your host Adam Blue, and as you can see, I'm actually not live. I'm actually not doing. I've done this in the past. There's always a time travel joke I do. I forgot what it was. Oh, doggy's walking by. No, but I'm going to be in jury duty, so I'm not going to be able to be available to live stream. So I thought that I would just record ahead of time. And there's always so many gaming things I need to talk about anyway, so it's not like there's nothing to talk about. Let me share my screen and talk about what I've played today and what I will be playing because the day's not over yet. Although maybe I've played, I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, playing some Call of Duty. It says Modern Warfare 2. That's interesting. Instead of 3. It's very interesting because, they've combined all the Call of Duty like apps or whatever, how that works. So who knows really? Because what I was doing is testing out. I talked about I was downloading Call of Duty to play with my son because it's on Game Pass now. So instead of downloading the Steam version, I downloaded the Xbox version to check it out, and plays fine. It's a basic fun game. So I was doing that. This other thing, Black Myth Wukong, still playing that. Let's see, I think I got right under 3 hours by the time I was talking this morning, so I put in another 30 minutes. I think I beat another boss or two. So that's what's interesting about this is that, when I think boss rush, I think classic boss rush, or like Castlevania, where you fight a boss, next area you fight a boss, next area you fight a boss. And Black Myth Wukong really isn't boss rush. It appears that way, but there are actually like open environments and levels to walk around in to do stuff. It's just that you do come across bigger enemies more often that are in contained areas that have larger health bars. Sure, it could be a boss or it could just be an enemy along the way, but I really like it. I like that type of style because I'm really just getting into the action. Just a lot of times when I'm playing a Souls game, I'm just waiting to get to the boss. There's just always something to do, and I really enjoy that. There's always something, whether it's a boss, whether it's just some enemies to go ahead and farm, and I really like farming. I really like leveling up. I like everything about it. And it's interesting because, again, it's not that this is revolutionary, but it's just very well done. And even just beyond being a Me Too of a very well done game, it's almost like it's a very well done game done in a different ecosystem. And it kind of is, it's a Chinese developed game, and the developers originally made some mobile games. Interesting. That's the same thing like Stellar Blade. I think there was something to a different, developers from not a typical place like, Korea or China to make games that are popular with Western audiences, but for everyone as well. And that there seems to be some really interesting, what I'm really trying to get at is when I play Black Myth Wukong, it just feels different than a typical game. It's very interesting. I really like it. Totally worth. It's one of those games that are like worth the full price of what games are worth this generation. I still got more to play. And here's the thing. It's funny when I play Black Myth Wukong and I'm done playing, when I put it down, it's usually once I've like beat a boss or two. It's like, it's interesting because I'm not saying the game's easy. It's just, it's not super hard where I'm always making progress. So I get to a point where I'm like, well, I'm going to just stop here. I'll continue later. There are a couple bosses I've died from, sometimes just once. It's interesting how it works because it seems super hard, but I think there's just enough there in the game, enough different mechanics, whether that's the combat system, how health works, how the magic system works, that there's enough there to juggle by the end of that match. It's like you've gone away with just a little bit of health left, used up all your stuff. It's very well balanced. Maybe that's the way to put it for a single player experience anyway. Okay, so we had the Gamescom stuff going on. There was the Jeff Keighley opener the other night, and then day one's going on right now. There's even some live streams, but nothing too interesting to like share and watch, because they seem to be showing mainly things we've already seen before. So this is IGN, which let me. I wonder where we should start this, or if I just let it run and I talk about it. So I got Starship Troopers Extermination as soon as it came out last year. I think it was like in May when it was early access. Even though I was like, early access, I was like, but this is my type of early access, because the game is just to be just go out there and shoot. There's not like many mechanics to it, even though there are actually. But anyway, I played it, liked it, and saw its jank, and I said, I'll wait a little bit. But they have done so much more to it. And I want to say, and I hope, and this is why I love competition, that Helldivers kind of helped give this parent company who's ever in charge of the money on this, or the marketing, of like, there is something here we can ride. And they went and got Casper Van Dien, the original actor that played Johnny Rico, to come back into the game to play Johnny Rico and to do the voice of Johnny Rico. But not only that, so this is a 16-player multiplayer game. And then there's something I must have missed, or they did talk about it before and I forgot. But it's going to have a single-player campaign that it can also be played in 4-player co-op, which is awesome. And when you're playing it, your sergeant is Johnny Rico. And Casper Van Dien said he recorded more lines for this game than he did for all the movies. I wonder if he's even considering the CGI. I wonder if that's even true. Probably. If you think about movies and games have so much dialogue. Anyway, this is a personal interest of mine. I love Starship Troopers. I love when you get a legacy actor to come in and fill that role, to kind of give it more of that real, because this is an opportunity to really like role play what is a fantastic and fun movie. And just having Casper Van Dien in this, and how exciting he is. So it's really cool. I've been watching interviews lately with him talking about the game, and it is just so fun to see how excited he is. And he never acts. So you could tell he's not like a big gamer, but he's also not dumb about it. It's this neat, like refreshing take of a celebrity that's like, he decided, hey, Starship Troopers game that I'm going to voice. I'm going to start playing it. I'm going to start, getting to know it, get to understand it, like anyone can do. Even if you're not a gamer, if you take your time with a game, you can learn it. And what he said, when this is the part I love so much, is that he would sit there and he would be playing the game online with other people, right? And then someone said, wow, you sound just like the actor. And he'd go, oh, that's because it is me. I enjoy playing the game. And it's like, whoa, it would be so awesome if I'm playing this game and I'm playing with some people and it happens to be this actor role playing as himself. That's just so cool, because there's something about that whole thing of like Starship Troopers, or just any type of fiction army in general, where you have like the groups, in conflict. And like something like Space Marine is kind of another example of that, because the Marines, that's awesome. It's like a group of Marines fighting like Tyranids or whatever. Anyway, awesome interview on IGN. And another thing is, there's this, you've probably heard of it, that podcast with Michael Rosenbaum, Inside of You. He had one recently with Casper Van Dien, and it was fantastic. He's such a cool guy. All right, let's move on to sadder news, and that is Command & Conquer Legions on mobile. Yeah, so I feel like during the time that I have existed, there has been multiple times EA has tried to do the mobile Command & Conquer thing. They even had a browser-based Command & Conquer game that I played a lot of when that existed. Man, that's giving me weird flashbacks. Let me mute this and play it. Anyway, so they got their new one. So it's Command & Conquer Legions, but this is the trailer for the official Red Alert season. And so my thought is, for a season? For what? What did this even start? And I made the mistake. I was reading ahead, and at the bottom it said available now on the App Store and Google Play. So I went, and I had already registered. So I was like, why didn't it prompt to download? But when I got to it, I saw that it's not out yet. Still not out yet. The pre-registration's out yet. And then I guess the idea is when the game is out, and I think it's out in like specific territories for the purpose of testing. But when it's out here in North America, I guess it's going to start with a Red Alert season, which I think this is a way to try to pull in OG Command & Conquer fans and Red Alert fans. But they should not be doing this. Oh wow, that looks just like her. That's pretty cool. They should not be making a mobile game that's Command and Conquer. It is just actually. Let me show you something else. Look, Yuri. I'm teasing him at the end. So I can't believe they're doing this. Like, what they really should be doing is making a Command and Conquer game, PC and console. I mean, it's like they think maybe they think it won't sell, but it would if they did it right. Like, put the production behind having the I feel bad, I forgot his name. The actor that plays Kane. Just put some money behind that. Have him be prominent. Make another story, and then just I don't know, make a game that's just. Here's the thing, like. I think the problem with RTSs nowadays is there's only so much you can do with them before it becomes something else. So I think what they can do, and they don't have to spend a lot of money doing it, is just make a basic Command and Conquer game. Don't worry about it having to have a lot of intricate modern day quality of life improvements, enhancements. Just look at like the RTS Tactical Warfare game that's in Steam right now. There's a demo. It's a little janky, but it is fun as heck. I spent so much time playing it because it has that classic feel. Anyway, yeah, I could go on about Command and Conquer forever, like the way it's been treated by EA and all that. And the more stuff actually, came out recently. I think I talked about on here where like the fourth game, that was a mobile game that was turned into the fourth game because they didn't know what to do with it. Yeah. Okay, so that is that. Let's look at some news, and I think there's going to be a lot of news. So I'm only gonna go through kind of what's important. And actually, real quick, what I wanted to show, and I meant to, so I think the other day I showed this, right, Ultramarine. And this is kind of the design. I don't think it's the exact one of the one in that Space Marine 2 game coming out. Looks sick from Joy Toy. These things are amazing. And they're not that expensive. And so I got another one because these things are addicting. Like, look at that. And you know what it really reminds me? I want to get some Blood Angels because it really reminds me of playing Dawn of War 2. Even though I love Dawn of War, and at first I didn't like what Dawn of War 2 was doing, over time I just like Dawn of War 2. This is that RTS thing I was just talking about. Dawn of War, great RTS. Dawn of War 2 tried to change some things, and then it's no longer that base building RTS. But what they did in Dawn of War 2 anyway was awesome. I loved that game. And I never completed the last DLC. I think it's called Retribution or something. I need to go back to that. But what I liked about that is you had your little squads and you're constantly like adding things to them, making them, different weapons. It's almost like how these things work because you could take off all their little weapons, accessories, doodads, and like mix and match them and make your squad however you want. So I was even thinking of going back and playing Dawn of War 2 because, and you know what's interesting? I guess I had beaten Dawn of War 2 before it got a patch. And Dawn of War 2 came out 2011 or something. I forget. Where it had a patch that added achievements in Steam. So I would have to play the game again to get achievements. So maybe that's a good reason to go back to the game. Especially now that, I've learned more about Warhammer since then. Really like the Warhammer 40K. I like all that stuff. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting how much I get into the property of these things. Like for Gundam, it's about the Gunpla and the model kits. And while that's cool, I just like the story and the action figures and all that. In the anime, the throws, and it's like Warhammer Dawn of War. Like the tabletop stuff looks cool, but I've always loved the video games, and then getting these action figures, that's amazing. So can't wait for Dawn of War or Space Marine 2 to come out in September. That's going to be fun. All right. Let's look at the news real quick and see if there's anything interesting, because there has been a lot of news because of Gamescom. So I'm sure there's so many things I haven't talked about. That's why I was showing those 2 videos earlier, because I was like, I got to save these to talk about them. Sorry, thought I heard something. Anyway, Lego Super Mario Kart sets confirmed for 2025. Interesting. I was like, that's what it looks like, but I guess that's the baby Marios. They have, okay, let's look at this real quick. Not in, you know what? I do have one of the Mario Lego sets, and that was like fun at first, but it was like there was like a lot to it, so it wasn't that conducive to like getting it out often, and that's very interesting. So, to be honest, there is something about building a little Lego cart. Like, what's interesting though is, oh, okay, and here's something to think. These aren't even minifigures. Think about it. These aren't minifigures. These are little Lego characters you're building. I don't know how big they are though, but it says $30 for a Mario Kart character. This one that's 30, it has two, but they're the babies. The baby Mario and Luigi. That seems expensive, but at the same time, isn't that Lego? Isn't wow, that one's cool. Wow, I love the little toads. Wow, this is actually pretty cool. And they've got like, yeah, the race set. But no Mario. Interesting, just baby Mario. I mean, obviously they'll come out with more. Interesting. What one would I want? That Yoshi's pretty good, actually. I like the cart here. And I like the little toads. I would get this one out of all of them. And $40 actually does not seem bad for Lego for being this little Toad's Garage, the turtle shells. We'll see. That is actually pretty cool. All right. Sprite Remix, huh? Aruba Jam? Never heard of that. All right. Back here. Xbox confirms core and standard Game Pass tiers will wait up to 12 months plus for first-party games. Okay, we heard it here first. I don't know if that's true. I've heard it here first for the first time. But Microsoft has confirmed that subscribers who pay for its core and standard tiers of its Game Pass subscription service may not be able to play titles from its first-party studios up to 12 months or more after release, clarifying the substantive changes it made to its Xbox Game Pass service last month. Microsoft confirmed in a recent Xbox Wire post that only the $12 a month PC tier and the 20-month Ultimate tier will benefit from EA Play membership and access to Xbox's Day One titles, which that seems completely reasonable. Instead, subscribers to Core, that's $10 a month, in the upcoming Standard will get a curated catalog of 25 high-quality games on console and hundreds. I got to say, like, I think this is a good deal still. Just considering a game could be $70. So let's say 1 month you pay $70 for a game, or 1 month you pay $20, and then you can still play the game the next month, and that's $40. Yet you paid $70 if you bought it outright. So, like for $15, then to still get, it might not be day one, but it's still going to be amazing games. Like I feel like that's a good deal. I mean, I really like this. I feel like there's something, it's interesting. There's something about Sony's PSN that does it that I've not subscribed to it. When they changed it and did the tiers and then made it where only certain, it changed for me. And I need to go back and revisit that, thinking, of course, of like, I would love if I was able to get Stellar Blade, for instance. Like if I was subscribed to PlayStation, then I would have it for sure. That's kind of an example of, I guess, why I'm not. But sometimes I'll look at what's games are available to play in the PlayStation library, and it is there are similar games, but there are quite a bit different games from Xbox and PlayStation. And I would say, the PlayStation ones lean more import or Japanese, which kind of makes sense. But I feel like it kind of has more of the games I would play. It's just, it seems like Game Pass, there's always something I'm wanting to play that comes out on Game Pass. Yeah, it's very interesting. I would say PlayStation has more of the obscure or the more gamers games on there, while Xbox has really like, high quality mainstream indie games and stuff like that. I don't know. How do you guys see it? I'm curious. Phil Spencer, Indiana Jones PS5 jump good for Xbox's health. Yeah, I think I said that this morning or yesterday when you're watching this on the Blue Gamer Bluecast Morning Show. That I think that's just best for gaming. Like, and then I'm even looking at it at the point of view of if we're looking 20 years in the future, if games have been ported to multiple systems, there's more likelihood to easily archive in there's another name for that. A classic game, like archive a game, keep it, not restored. There's this term. Gosh, I hate it when I'm live. And this isn't live technically, but I'm treating it like one, so I can't cheat. Let's see if Thieves has reportedly surpassed 1 million sales on PS5. So then look at that. We just looked at Indiana Jones, and then look at a game that had already been on Xbox for a long time. And then Microsoft's like, I guess we'll put it on PS5. 1 million sales. Look at that. That's crazy. All right. Anything else? Riot Games announces gender mixed Valorant tournament. Wait a minute. Were these tournaments not gender mixed already? I mean, I would just think it's a video game, right? It wouldn't matter if you're male or female. When it comes to video games, that's an interesting topic, isn't it? But I don't know. I don't really care about the competitive side of gaming, so I don't know. All right, next week's free Epic Game Store title has leaked. Okay, Wildcard Football will replace the Callisto Protocol and Gigantic Rampage Edition. Wait, is Callisto Protocol on there right now or something? Let's see. According to Data Miner, Wildcard Football will be free, and then let's see. Death's Gambit, Afterlife, and World of Warships are free to claim until August 22nd. They'll be replaced by the Callisto Protocol and Gigantic Rampage Edition, which will be free on. Okay, that's really cool. What's Gigantic Rampage Edition? I can't say I've heard of this, but it's going free, and it has mixed recent reviews. So what is this supposed to be? MOBA. Okay. Hero shooter, MOBA. This could be a good game. It's just none of the things that I'm really into. So, all right. Hyperlight Breaker has been delayed again. Oh. Wait, I thought that was out. I don't know. That must be a different game. What am I even thinking? Let's see. Anything else? Yeah, we're almost 30 minutes, but just in case, we'll see if there's anything else interesting on here. Splitgate 2, very interesting. It's like Halo with portals. Yeah, I was just thinking to myself, like, what are some first-person shooters that I'm playing? I was talking about Call of Duty, but there's not really anything else. Like, what's the ongoing competitive game I play or the ongoing online game I play? And it's not really anything. Dune Awakening, that looked pretty interesting, like a survival game. Oh, that's funny, yeah, because I was watching my son play yesterday, and it looked like a Borderlands theme all over Modern Warfare 3. Oh, this was pretty cool. New Xbox accessibility products revealed, including the adaptive joystick. That looked really cool. Man, I've always thought about this, loving video games my whole life. Like, oh, what if something happened to my hand or my fingers I couldn't play? And then I remember meeting someone that loved video games, but he didn't have a right hand, and he was like explaining how he plays. And I was like, oh man, it's cool to know that there's, people can still play games even with disabilities. And this is really cool right here because it's like, it looks like, the Wii remote or the PlayStation Arc thing, whatever they called that. I think, no, it wasn't Arc. I think that was the code name. Anyway, yeah, it looks like, and I love that because that is a kind of a comfortable thing to hold, and then you can change how the top works. Yeah, it's pretty neat that they do all this stuff. And 3D printable files for adaptive thumbstick top. So yeah, and they have the thumbstick files available. That's neat. All right. Let's see what else there is. We're getting near the end here. Oh, there's no look at that joystick. It looks really cool. I mean, I would even want to use that too. You never know. Sometimes it's comfortable to play, games. I know, like with the Switch, the Switch controllers, it's kind of the same thing, or like the Oculus, right? I feel like gaming controllers are going to kind of go in that direction anyway, especially in talks of it's over there, like having the split pads you put on a mobile device anyway, and the idea that even if you on the Switch you're taking things off, but like this type of that could be where this came from. I wonder if part of this design was with Microsoft working on what their new stuff will be, and they're like, you know what, we can just make it where these things are accessible right off the bat. Very cool, very cool. Let's see. I think that's it. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Today we talked about the Starship Troopers Extermination. October 11th is when it will be out, and it's going to have a 4-player co-op campaign with Casper Van Dien talking to you the whole time. Was the voice of Johnny Rico. That is amazing. Can't wait for that. And then the other thing we were talking about was that Command & Conquer mobile game. Unfortunately, I mean, has it worked? It's so funny that I can say, yeah, that Metal Slug Awakening, with a caveat, really, really, really strong caveat. In fact, I need to do that review so I can talk about that. So I need to do that. Anyway, all thanks for watching. Sorry it wasn't live, but yeah, I have another way to get some content out there anyway. So yeah, we will talk tomorrow. See y'all later.